All right, I got a chess match coming up in a couple of days. I just want to train myself for it. I got a good tough opponent here, 2100-ish. So let's put on our professional thinking mode. Professional thinking mode. It's a rapid game, so we still have to be a little bit fast, but we can still put on professional mode. Means a combination of strategic thinking and tactical execution. For now, he started very slowly. This is perhaps not too surprising. Knight c6 is a rather rare move. In blitz games, people just say, "Oh, I don't know, I'll just do this." But here he has disconnected. I'm canceling it. I don't care. I don't care. You can win. Doesn't matter to me. Rating points don't matter to me, Sonny. I don't care. It's like irrelevant. Okay, but now we got a strong opponent. Mohammed Yours You, Egypt. He's playing the Dutch defense, which is a weakness of mine, actually. A weakness of mine because I don't really fully know, and he's playing the Leningrad version, so it's going to be a tough one. I've been playing the B4 lines basically, which are a little bit out there, but ultimately I don't know how good they truly are. They're just a little bit out there, and they have worked for me somewhat at certain levels. But maybe at the level that I'm at now, I'm not sure if this works as well. Although if you just look at this objectively, it's a pretty decent setup for white. The only thing is this pawn break. They want to make the big e5 pawn break, right? That's what this whole Dutch defense is about. So knight here is very likely. Knight here is also very likely. These are the common ideas. I think one idea which white should have, okay, he played it already, which is probably a good move. It probably is a book move. Capture, and the knight just goes here. And I can't capture again because the bishop. So it's an optimization. And if I don't capture, then I have to deal with pawn going up here, which makes the game closed and gives him a little bit of a space triangle, most likely. Okay, I'm deciding to play queen b3 with the idea of playing a c5 check. And should he move the pawn forward, my knight will take that opportunity to jump in here. I'm assuming he's going to play this. Yeah. So now if I do the check, if he comes in with the knight, then it's a different story. But if he goes with the pawn, then I'm very likely to play this move, which is an improvement on going back here, isn't it? And if he goes in, then I have the option to go here. At least so I thought, but Could be somewhat superficial, maybe not. I don't know. There's stuff going on here. He closes it now. The site's still going to be a little bit pesky, and it might induce a move like this, which is not a big deal. You can just come back here. Okay, so whatever this thing is, it's not. It's a closed game. It's a closed position. Um, so a4 is also a move that's playable. What could black want to do here? Black wants to develop his pieces, but he can't with this knight here. So he's most likely to play this. And I'm most likely to go there. Playing this is okay, but I don't think it's that great. So I'm going to go with more like queenside expansion approach. And perhaps, yeah. So now he's made a committal kind of advancing move. I don't know if it's optimal, but it's restrictive for white, but it's expansive for black. So it's leaving a few more vulnerabilities in theory, at least. Makes me more tempted to play like this, but I don't want to. I don't want to fear this, because what's the fear, really? Just come here. And this knight actually defends against that. So I somehow think like reacting here is not the right way to go. A move like this might seem, yeah, the main thing is he can play this move in between, right? I don't know. King h1 could also be one of those genius kind of moves that gives the knight yet another layer of flexibility that might make a world of difference. Okay, so with this move here, he's given a bit more support to this type of idea. But what is the idea really? Is he trying to goad me into playing this? It's totally playable now, I think. I think I should still avoid it playing it though. I'm going to avoid playing it. I'm going to instead go with the b4 pawn break. Thinking that I have is that if he breaks here, I want to be able to capture back, and should he capture in between, I want my queen to be able to capture it. And therefore I don't want this pawn to come in and block the queen's line of sight to the knight. It's a strategic position, but there are tactics to watch out. Actually, every position is somewhat tactical. There are just materialistic tactics or positional tactics. Everything is a kind of a tactic. This move clearly signifies intent to sneak in here. Very, very, very clear signaling. He wants to play this and mate here. And white doesn't have too much he can really do. I mean, I can move forward here, but it starts to lose fizz. I'm out of queenside fizz, I would say. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's a tough position actually. I'm gonna start thinking a bit more seriously about a move like this. I might just ignore it and come here anyway. It's definitely an annoying move when the queen gets there. What if we just play pawn here? Okay, I'm going to not do anything yet. I'm going to wait to see what he's planning, and then I'm very likely going to play this move as my maneuver to defend against this knight, basically. Right? Oh, I have to worry about this still. Or do I just go back now? I may have misplayed something here. If I go here, he can come there, opening up an attack on the knight, but I just block it. And he sacrifices, gets the bishop in there. It's nothing. It's nothing, right? What if he sacrifices the bishop instead? Sacrifices the bishop, capture back. Knight comes in now with the mate, hidden mate threat here. And I think it'll be important for the queen to slide in there and then deflect away. Either way, I guess it should be manageable. Or have I missed something else entirely? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe I should have allowed his pieces to come and be in this attacking zone, but with a very, very good, robust defense, which I think I also had without having to play f3. For example, just going back here, here, and then pawn up. And then just holding that structure, even though it's a bit uncomfortable. Queen and knight here, ultimately they need one more helper. Actually, in these attacking positions, those helpers tend to show up out of nowhere. So maybe it's better to be a little bit more prophylactic. I think f3 is a bit safer. Let's have a look at our opponent's profile now. Mohamed Yusri. He's his blitz rating is up utter crap. He doesn't necessarily play too much, but still it's pretty bad. Bad blitz rating. A bullet he hasn't really played. And rapids, he's played a lot of rapids, and his rating has fluctuated, but he's got a high upper limit. This is a good move. I think it's a good move. It's an interesting move. 3 pawns for a piece. Or, for example, if I go back, then he can cramp in. I mean, I can push him out and he'll just go back and claim the space advantage here as his long-term boost. Or if I capture here, and then he gets into tango mode with my knight, and then I capture there, put her back, and then capture with the queen. And she's pretty safe, or do I have to worry about this knight drop? Shit, let me think about it again. The knight drop in there is pretty good, but do I have queen sack here, followed by capture and rook check, taking a bishop? I think I do, but I need to double think this. It's kind of complicated. Yeah, I think it seems safe. And if I survive the 3 pawn piece trade-off, um, is it better for me? Is it better for black? That's a real good question. And in this position, I'd say it's pretty okay for me. 3 pawns is pretty decent compensation. Okay, I wasn't expecting knight here. I was considering maybe here. But this is a pretty good move because it brings in this motif into play. Not to mention, but don't we still have the check followed by the capture? Um, Queen here is not going to do it, right? You walk right into this and that's busted. Um, yeah, I think this is the only real line. Rook plus knight for the queen, and also it's not just rook plus knight, but also some sort of initiative, some sort of momentum, but no queen. Yeah. And here the intermezzo bishop here could be a decent move to make. Capturing here right away is also playable. If the queen were to come in there, rook here, capture the knight. Rook check, bishop check. It's actually a mate. So let's go for that. Let's goad him into that. He's more likely to capture with pawn, I guess. Yeah. He saw it. Now there's got to be something good here for white, right? Right? What can white do? We've got to get a rook. We've got to get something back there, don't we? This walks into queen here, which gives him tempo on my knight. Pawn right up. It's a bit of a boss move, and I think we need to make a move like that. We need to make a move like that to get the pawns really starting to flow forward. We need this bugger out of the way. So it's a combination of strategic ideas of pawn rolling with tactical execution and some calculation. But we've burnt a lot of time already. We've burnt a lot of time, and we don't know if we will have enough time for supper at this rate. However, as with all good things, his bishops are excellent. And this knight development is coming rather smoothly. Trades help my opponent more than they help me. What about a move like this? Just walks into that. Yeah. What about captures and rook out? Sorry, knight out here. What about just this one? Getting this back rank motif somehow into play. Somehow maybe these guys have to do something as well. Oh, this tactic is on the cards for him. Right. What if we go here? Okay, I'm gonna go for the closed setup now. A bit more of a closed setup. And yeah, turn it into more of a maneuvering game. Try to get the rooks doubled up or something. He's got, you know, he's got an extra piece. I mean, he's got a queen for a rook. But what I have is these two pawns. And most importantly, this pawn is a passed pawn. It's an important one. But as long as this guy's around, it's going to be trouble. So I'm going to have to put pressure on this one, right? What if we just block the rook trade? I think the rook trade must be helping him a little bit. Our knight could also consider going in here at some point and start opening up some knight forking motifs. But yeah, we wanted to target this pawn, but multiple different agendas, multiple factors to consider, and winning that pawn it is important, but controlling the game, not allowing the queen infiltration and all of that is perhaps more urgent. You can be pretty sure at some point he's going to do a sacrifice with this knight. It's on the cards. Pushing the pawn forward might, give me a deep passed pawn, but realistically, he's got no chance because he's going to have rook here, and most importantly, this bishop guarding the queening square. So doesn't look likely that anything will truly materialize from that. This bishop currently is a somewhat suboptimally utilized piece. Perhaps angling him here is an idea worth exploring. I don't know. How about back here? Could angle up more on this diagonal. Use as a kind of defensive resource. Drop this bishop all the way in here, and then use these rooks and pawns to do some shit here, while keeping both the bishops as hardcore defenders of the king. I don't know, man. I don't know. Seems like an idea, but it might be too defensive, might cost too many flies to play. If I move up here, is he likely to play this? Then we can actually get a passed pawn, another passed pawn. And this time it will be a b pawn. I think a5 has got to be one of the ideas to consider. Bishop a3 is also somehow in the mix, but feels like a superficial tactic, hoping he doesn't spot a very obvious move. Yeah, so he's trading it down. He's trading it down, and that's an important bishop, but he's also got the important pawn well covered. However, we do have this opening up, potentially knight jumping in too. This is a risky move as well. I'm going to play this idea still because I think this knight is going to have a tough time figuring out a good square. So he's going to have to make a clumsy move. That's all I really want, is to force him to play one clumsy move. Just one clumsy move. It might be all it takes for me to turn the tables around. Our opponent has spent time thinking about this move and also this move, a little bit of time, but a lot of time on this move. She finally capture back. And now he's got to figure out what he's going to do here. What is this move? Queen check, rook defend, queen here. What if I just push the pawn up right now? What is he going to do? I think, could he have missed something? We take it right away. And we're threatening to exchange with check, so he's got to capture back. And now the material equation is objectively even. It's backwards pawn here. What if we attack the rook? No. Queen check wins a pawn. It's an important pawn. This pawn can also be dangerous. I don't know. That might have not been the right move. I had to play something. Do we just hold on to this guy? It's typically not good to have to hold on to pieces that way. Okay. I gotta play something. Gotta play fast enough. I don't like passive rook. He can build up pressure on this. He can build up pressure on it. Can we go here and here? No, he has check. He has this other check as well. Stop that infiltration. Queen can also come here. We might have to, I don't know. Back rank check doesn't really do much for us, does it? Rook here could do something. This pawn remains the magic piece for him. Until we get rid of that, there's no way we can try to win the game. We can just hold a tense position. But he's got the knight coming in. Oh, no, sorry. I'm blind. Yeah, we could have expected this one. And a check here, and you come here. Okay, he's gone there. He's indirectly attacking. push this, try to see if I can do a double with these pawns. So I can maybe get my rook there. Oh shit, his knight can come here. I forgot about that. I've just about got it covered, but not really. Then okay, it's a bit hostile play. What's he planning? Am I getting garbled up here? I'm going to take away that square for the knight because I think that brings in a lot of chaos for me. I'm going to take away that square. Only 23 seconds left, unfortunately. Haven't been the most effective with my time management, but we've got a decent position. It's been a tough game. We're fighting hard. I'd love that his king would suddenly come here and then we can execute some cheap tactic like this. Never works in these long games, only works in blitz. This rook and this knight, they have to work together. And he's going to be trying to find a way to break this open, you know? What's he thinking? What plan could he be trying to come up with? Could it be even something like this? I'm going to attack that bishop. Oh shit. Game over. Yeah, I blundered. Separating the rooks. It's hard to play against a queen on an open board like that. But I did have my chances, as we're going to find out in this game. I had my chances, even after the queen line that we went into. So let's examine it. So e5 is not an accurate way. It's premature. It's premature. Okay. And I should just capture it and just build naturally. What after this? Queen c2, bishop e6, b5, bishop f7, knight takes, pawn takes, and e4, f4, knight f3, no, g takes, e takes, bishop takes, queen c3 check, king h, king g8. Interesting line. Maybe this is the way to handle it. I need to keep this in mind for the preemptive e5 with this knight hook here, to just go with the more simple defense, simple development with the b5 push and the e4 clincher. Tough one. Okay. Queen here is not the right response. Now I've fallen into his trap, essentially. Should never let the pawn come in here. Fallen into his trap, and I thought this might give me wiggle room. And I'm playing okay moves here, but they're simply not the best. I should at this point already move the knight back, basically. But I was expecting he would do this, and therefore I'm content with having deferred the knight h3 move. And g5 I did feel was a bit shaky, giving himself a lot of air in his position, but what's the best response? Is it f4 ultimately? f4 already. So this king move here was not a good move, you know. It was a wrong idea. f4 is better. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there, I sensed it was bad. I sensed it was bad. I sensed this whole idea of queen all the way here wasn't that solid. But f3 was also a concession. And rook e1, look at that. Just nerves of steel. Just having nerves of steel and holding the whole structure. Rook e1? What happens after? What if he did this here? Then you just go back. Simple as that, I guess. f3, not the best. And knight g1, not bad actually. This is probably second best option. Okay. So we captured it, and we went for this 3 pawns for knight line, which is good for black. You can see the computer eval is favoring black. So kudos to black for outplaying me in the opening and early middle game. And this is a great move. This is a great move. I did not see this. I was calculating for this line. I handled it the right way. All accurate moves at this point. So both sides playing good chess here. Good quality chess. And then not a great move. Oftentimes after a long think, you will get that not so great move. And still playing well. And then he blunders. He blunders. And I capitalize on it. But not right, not quite so. What did I... All the differences in that pawn? If you move the pawn ahead, then it allows him time to move the rook away, but how do... That's a bit complicated, I'm afraid. It's not an easy one to understand. It's not an easy one to understand. So I missed my shot there. This was my shot. But the shot needed a very precise move. The point being that by taking here, I allow him to capture black, and he can settle into a fairly comfortable position. Okay. So I think we got the whole idea wrong with this rook a1 move. The whole idea is just wrong to try to hold on to that pawn. The idea has got to be instead to go with the knight, try some spice. Not an easy position for white to play. That's the other thing. Computer might say a position is equal, but it's typically not if it's not easy to play. Now You can see the crack starting to fall. I made a mistake here, and he should have capitalized on it right away, but he gave me a shot. So I took it off next ball, and then I made the clincher blunder here. Yeah, after this, it was game over. I should have instead gone with a straight up pawn sack. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching. Good game.